We're going to take a look at Venus in depth today and how this pertains to a lot of rituals. The 8-year cycle and 5 petals of Venus. When plotted geocentrically from an Earth-centered perspective, there is a highly noticeable rhythm in the motion of Venus. After 8 years, it returns to the same place in our sky on about the same date. This is known as the 8-year cycle of Venus and stems from the fact that 13 Venusian orbits very nearly equals 8 Earth years. Today many know it as the pentagram of Venus. The word pentagram or five-sided figure is used because over the 8 years, each phenomena, each relative position of Earth, Venus and the Sun occurs 5 times. Then over the next 8 years, they repeat 5 times almost identically. So you want to look for numbers and reductions of 5, 8, 13, 18 or 81. Those are her numbers. Mask, probably Arabic, maskhara, a clown, buffoonery, anything that conceals or disguises. A figure of a head worn on the stage by an ancient Greek or Roman actor to identify a character and amplify the voice. Done. However, brings to mind these Illuminati mask balls where salacious activities occur, and its relation to Inanna Ishtar. And then I found this picture of Rihanna at Carnival. Look at these wings. What color is this? It's cerulean blue. Cerulean connects to Isis or Inanna Ishtar, who is a reptilian Nephilim. I think this is Rihanna's true form. When they tell you, it's not a hint. This is an outright confession. You assume that she's wearing slit contacts. That might be her real eyes, actually. The serpent priestesses and ancient sexual rites. Tila is an Aztec deity representing the planet Venus and an apparition of Quetzalcoatl the feathered serpent. Quetzalcoatl the serpent is connected to Venus, therefore Venusians are either reptilian or Draco. Without your consent, no destiny is determined. The most ingenious solution finds no favor. To run fast, to slip away, to calm, to pacify are yours, Inanna. To destroy, to create, to tear out, to establish are yours, Inanna. To turn a man into a woman and a woman into a man are yours, Inanna. That's why these people are double-gendered and give you that sign. Made me think of this V series. I didn't see this one. I saw the one in the 80s. I'm not sure if she's angry or if she's smiling. And if you think that you're looking at a human right now, we need to go back to the basics. What was their catchphrase? We are of peace. Always. So do you think that's really the peace sign? No, it's the V sign, V for Venus. I don't think all reptilians are from Venus, but these ones in particular letting you know they are. Back to Rihanna dressed in this costume and doing the sign of Tanit. That's the seal of Tanit with her arms up there, because Tanit stroke Ishtar is the portal goddess, and which connects to these colors to do with the COVID-19. The Sumerian hero Gilgamesh traveled the world in search of a way to cheat death. The gods were angry at mankind, so they sent a flood to destroy him. The god Ea warned Utnapishtim and instructed him to build an enormous boat to save himself and his family and the seed of all living things. When the rain subsided, the boat landed on a mountain, and Utnapishtim set loose first a dove, then a swallow, and finally a raven. The birds associated with Venus is the stock dove, the swallow, and a black bird. The god Ishtar created the rainbow and placed it in the sky as a reminder to the gods and a pledge to mankind that there would be no more floods. The astronomical symbol of Iris is a rainbow. Iris was the goddess of the rainbow and a messenger of the Olympian gods. Her name contains a double meaning, being connected with both the Greek word iris, the rainbow, and iris, messenger. According to Hesiod's Theogony, Iris is the daughter of Thaumas and the Oceanid Electra, and her sister of the hot bees Iolo and Osteopete, while her twin sister Arc betrayed the Olympians and became the messenger of the Titans. Iris would appear during the Trojan War, with Homer mentioning the goddess many times. Most notably, Iris would appear to transport the wounded Aphrodite back to Mount Olympus. And this is another stele of Tanit. Down here we've got her with 2 doves. Above her is somebody with wings and a rainbow over their head. Takashi 69 with the rainbow hair. Iris is a messenger of the gods. That's what this character is. Now I understand the meaning behind the rainbow hair wearing cerulean blue. Now the NHS, who's adopted the rainbow and the colours cerulean blue, purple and magenta connecting to Ishtar, aka Tanit. No coincidence. Then we've got the celebrities who are obsessed with the rainbow, such as Mariah Carey. You may have seen this before, lying on the bed. With the rainbow is a reference to prostitution, connecting that to Eyes Wide Shut and the Rainbow clothing store. And at this clothing store was an underage prostitute. Noah Cyrus and her friend Emily Grace used to have their own charity called Lollipops and Rainbows. I'm certain that was a front for something. Fritz Springmeier talks about rubies representing prostitution, but he doesn't delve into why, and so I had to figure that out on my own. This magnificent statue discovered in a tomb in Babylon brings two civilizations. Probably the representation of the goddess Ishtar, the statue is unique with its eyes inlaid with rubies, which gives this look with red and pink tints. Depending on where you get your rubies from, they can either look pinkish or red. So Ishtar, the prostitution goddess, has rubies in her eyes, and we've got the Wizard of Oz wearing the ruby slippers. In the book, the slippers were silver, but MGM changed it to ruby because it looked better next to the yellow. No, this was the basis of prostitution programming. What Western society has viewed as evil in the form of woman and the serpent was once viewed with the utmost veneration. The priestesses wore robes of scarlet, the color signifying the source of their power, and were titled whore. Then you often see these celebrities wearing red dresses, or in this case, magenta. If you think this is a woman, you need to go back to the anatomy video with the Star of Ishtar behind her. And then we've got the woman in the red dress with the CERN Stargate portal behind her. We've got another servant of Ishtar, CERN Stargate behind her, one leg exposed. This is a cylinder seal of Ishtar welcoming a devotee. Ishtar has the Stargate behind her. And this is the exact same image. CERN Stargate behind her, one hand up, one leg exposed. Again, we see here with Shakira and her perfume, woman in the red dress with two cats, just like Inanna Ishtar was originally red, and she's got two lions with her. Now we've got Rupaul, who is probably an FTM pretending to be an MTF, pretending to be an FTM. All the stars down the front of this garment is Ishtar. Celine Dion, the symbol for Iris is a rainbow with a star. Look at Celine's necklace. And her name is a reference to the moon goddess because Celine, even though it's spelled differently, means moon. El is the brother to the god Bethel, to Dagon and to an unknown god, equated with the Greek Atlas, and to the goddesses Aphrodite Ashtar, aka Ishtar, Rhea, presumably Asherah, and Dion, equated with Baalat Gabal. There's Miley Cyrus, rainbow above the head, riding on a cat, exactly like Inanna Ishtar, riding on a lion. Which is quite disturbing. At the end of this film, Return to Oz, the child is riding on a lion, so that's a reference to child prostitution, unfortunately. The Nordic goddess Freya is equivalent to Inanna Ishtar. This is called Syncretism. Syncretism is the system by which one spirit is identified or fused to varying degrees with another. When the ancient Greeks began to travel their world, they encountered other people with other pantheons. In some cases, spirits from abroad were merged into their own pantheon. In other cases, the Greeks decided other cultures simply used other names and told other stories about spirits who were the same as the Greek gods. Ursula Freda is a voodoo goddess. She is likened to the goddess Aphrodite and Venus. As it happens, the two bird species tied to Venus is the peacock and the dove. Oshun may manifest in the form of her sacred birds, vultures and peacocks. So it's the same entity over and over again that was adopted and changed its name over time. And I realized that this woman on the Denver airport mural is likely Venus. She has the blue star Kachina with her, and I've seen that that symbol right there is for Venus. And what else I found? That symbol is in the palm of the CERN Shiva statue. So they're saying that's Venus, aka Ishtar. They put Ishtar's wings on the CERN Shiva statue because Ishtar is the portal goddess. There's so much, it's like spot the difference. That's not what the original Nataraj looks like, so they can't rightly call it Nataraj. And I've shown time and time again that Ishtar, aka Inanna, Isis, Venus, etc., deals with portals. That's why Tanit, the Phoenician name for Ishtar, looks like a keyhole. And did you notice the blue dress that she's wearing? In the book it was yellow, but Disney changed it to blue. The symbol for Venus is likened to a hand mirror. The Santeria goddess Oshun has a hand mirror in her hand, which does connect to Alice going through the looking glass or the mirror. Prince Philip was born on the Greek island of Corfu. His mother was Princess Alice. Venus in Gematria, English ordinal of 81, full reduction 18. The hour of Venus is 1 o'clock or 8 o'clock. Prince Philip has died aged 99. What is 9 plus 9? It's 18. Portal in Gematria is 1188. Alice in Wonderland is 1188. Radiation is 1188. Cinnabar, aka Red Mercury, 8811. Plasma is 8811. In tribute to the Duke, Westminster Abbey began tolling its tenor bell. A bell is a frequency. It rang out 99 times, which equals 18. The government urged the public not to gather or leave tributes at the royal residences. Adam Wharton Ward, 3 sixes, also arrived to leave lilies at the palace gates. Lily, planet, moon, deity, Venus, magical uses to keep unwanted visitors from your home. Philip was born in Greece, but his family was exiled from the country when he was 18 months old. He joined the Royal Navy aged 18. Prince Philip and the Queen had 8 grandchildren and 10 great-grandchildren. We don't count the zeros. That's 18. Prince Philip supported more than 800 organizations. From midday on Saturday, a 41-gun salute will take place. 4 plus 1 is 5. The prince married Princess Elizabeth 5 years before she became queen. He was admitted to hospital after a pre-existing heart condition. Venus rules Friday. Venus rules the heart chakra. For example, Friday is always associated with Venus. The Nordic god Freya is equivalent to Inanna Ishtar, and that's where we get the word Friday. He was the longest serving consort in British history and was only months away from his 100th birthday. Wow, because if he made it to 100, he'd be a fossil. He initially received care for an infection, but then he underwent heart surgery. Often he received little public recognition for his endeavors. In part, this was due to his uncomfortable relationship with the press, whom he labeled bloody reptiles. That's the pot calling the kettle black, isn't it? But he argued, people still respond more easily to symbolism than to reason. He had a keen interest in religion and conservation, despite dispatching an 8-foot tiger. Ishtar's symbol is the lion. He shot a tiger. Prince Philip with Prince Jagat Singh with his foot on the tiger's head, exactly how Inanna Ishtar stands on the lion's head. Do you see that? Panthera is a genus within the family Felidae and comprised of the tiger, lion, jaguar, and leopard. Panthera, Pantera, with the purple and blue and V-shaped collarbones. We've got some more numbers to look at. He allegedly died the 9th of April. April is the 4th month. 9 plus 4 is 13. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 is well known to be an unlucky number because it sounds similar to C, which means death in Chinese. Look at the tenor, 6th of February, 9th of April, that's 69. As we have documented, members of the elite are quite open in their feverish lust to commit mass murder and ethnic cleansing. In the foreword to his biography, If I Were an Animal, Prince Philip wrote, "In the event that I am reincarnated, I would like to return as a deadly virus in order to contribute something to solve overpopulation." So if they pull something and say, oh no, a scientist in the laboratory had COVID, but he didn't have any symptoms, and he didn't wash his hands whilst he was working with another pathogen, and it mutated, and now there's super mega coronavirus. No, it's not super corona, it's Prince Philip. Although they might coin the new strain with something to do with royalty. Later that day, on the 9th of April, Rapper dies a week after suffering a heart attack. DMX dead, rapper Earl Simmons dies at 50. The article was posted at 17:29, that's 5 in the evening. Thus, spells invoking the power of Oshun inevitably draw upon the color yellow and the number 5. Look at the 50s in the advert and you see the bull on the right. Bet bull, it's a red bull, which connects to the fire bull Moloch, the god associated with sacrifice. How many people know that Taurus, the name of the zodiac sign, derives from a rather unknown civilization that lived in Turkey in ancient times? Taru was the name of the Hatti storm god and also the basis of Hittite Tarhuns, Etruscan Tarkan, similar in function to Greek Zeus, Indian Indra, Roman Jupiter, and other Indo-European gods, as well as Harion Teshub. So it says that Prince Philip allegedly died on the morning of the 9th of April. I can't find what time, but I would guess it would be about 8 in the morning. And this was all announced on the radio. They were going to be mourning for him for 8 days. And the radio kept playing the same songs. It was like between 5 and 8, I don't know, because I kept switching it because it was just on loop. So I assumed that these were songs that had triggers in them for people. And I think it might have been triggering loyalty altars or maybe callback altars. They were singing that song, I'm So Into You. I think it was Ashanti. And Lauryn Hill's X Factor, which made me think it could be a suicide trigger. Stormzy's Blinded by Your Grace, and then Let Me Love You, and there was one called Tell Me Where Your Love Lies. And they played that about 5 or 6 times, like over and over. They played an advert in that song again, and I thought, this is strange. And then I switched to another station, and they were playing music with strange tones that I think was disguised as techno beats, because I've never heard those tones used in techno music before. Prince Philip died in the morning on the 9th of April. And then later in the evening, around 5 o'clock, DMX allegedly dies. So it's Venus as the morning and evening stars. I've said this before. When Venus rises in the morning, it's bright. Prince Philip was white. When Venus as the evening star goes down, it's darker and DMX is black. I've explained this. They both died on the 9th of April. That is in the sign of Aries, the ram, and it is ruled by Mars. Mars is the god of war. The 9th of April was a busy day. What else happened? Satan's Shoes launched by Lil Nas X, which contained a drop of blood to be recalled after Nike lawsuit. Notice the reptilian eyes? And what time was this published? Friday, the 9th of April at 8:13. This is known as the 8-year cycle of Venus and stems from the fact that 13 Venusian orbits. All these coincidences. Then he has his hair braided in such a way that it looks like these facial horns. Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, reduces to 7-7-11-11. Inanna Ishtar is 11-11-7-7. Tanit Goddess is 11-11-7-7. Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, Jewish reduction is 44 and also 22. Sun also reduces to 22, an English ordinal 40, of course, because you need to sacrifice someone to open their portal. Prince Philip in Gematria with a Sumerian of 81, and then a Fibonacci, because it is a frequency, of 88. And the Fibonacci is 1396, 13 goes back to Venus, then we've got the 9 and 6. Which was right there. One of the sacrifices Prince Philip had to make before he married the Queen was changing his surname amid concerns over his foreign roots. I don't think that was the reason why. He changed his family name from the German Schleswig, Holstein, Sonderburg, Glücksburg, that's pretentious, to Mountbatten. His sister Princess Cecily of Greece and her husband joined the Nazi party prior to their death, so I think that's really why he changed his surname. Put it all through the gematria, reduces to 8811. Tanit reduces to 1188. Now let's look at DMX. Oh, I was about to record this video and then I saw a breakdown on him, so I had to add more. So he and I have different ways of looking at things, but we arrive at similar points. His real name was Earl Simmons, reduces to 3366 with a reverse reduction of 69. Since DMX represents the evening star of Venus, this is related to the voodoo goddess Erzulie. I'm not trying to be funny here. They don't mind displaying racism or stereotypes, so I have to look at it how they're seeing it. Ursuli is likened to the goddess Aphrodite and Venus. As Ursuli Dantle, she's portrayed as a warrior goddess who seeks vengeance against women who have been hurt and is associated with the Black Madonna. He has light above his head and he's wearing blue. The Black Madonna is wearing blue, so he's looking like the Black Madonna. It's likely that DMX is female. He has a crown on his shoulder. Madonna has a crown on her head and she has snakes above her. Can you see it? Did you miss that? This thing on the left is either somebody going into a portal or it's an alien with a wide head. But notice the two tears going down the face? The legend concerning the two scars on the Black Madonna's right cheek is that the Hussites stormed the Pauline monastery, plundering the sanctuary. They threw the portrait down on the ground and one of the plunderers drew his sword upon the image and inflicted 2 deep strikes. Ursuli reduces to 6633, Earl Simmons is 3366, we've got a 96 and a 69. Some people spell it with an IE, some people just spell it with an I, then it reduces to 1188. Black Madonna is 1188. Ursuli and the Black Madonna, look at the reductions, because this is another incarnation of Madonna Ishtar. Do you see the chain that's hanging down beside him? The double helix DNA emblem of Ningishzida. Double snakes, and it opens a portal. You need a certain DNA to activate portals or to go through one. Learn the unacknowledged facts in Genesis about how the Anunnaki created man using genetic engineering. Well, most people know that a lot of these celebrities are engineered. Entwined serpent symbol given to Enki's son Ningishzida. Ea, the primordial creator god, was a wise being of ancient Sumer and was portrayed as a bearded man-serpent floating beside his pillar. Ea, aka Enki. Ea is the god of fresh waters known as Apsu, on which the earth floats. Ea appears as a bearded man surrounded by flowing water. Do you see that? That's a fish on the side right there. And beneath is the Sumerian cuneiform for fish. The Nomos are amphibious, hermaphroditic fish-like creatures. Do you see the fish archetype there? They came to the Dogon people in Africa, and DMX is black or African descended. Do you understand? There's so much blue going on here that it's not a coincidence. So I wondered if the rest of the colors showed up somewhere. They did. Do you see it? Cerulean blue, purple, and magenta. Exactly the colors to do with this bloody thing here. He's got the crown or the corona on his shoulder. Now, this relates to the Voodoo and Santeria Orishas Yamaya, Oshun, and Mami Waters, which is the same entity. Oshun is the spirit of Nigeria's ocean river. She traveled to the Western Hemisphere with enslaved Yorubans emerging as a beloved force in Santeria, Condomble, and other African diaspora traditions. She is a fish creature. One part of her tail is dark, that's Venus as the evening star, and one part of her tail is light, that's Venus as the morning star. Originally native to India, indigo migrated to ancient Egypt, Greece, and the Yoruba kingdoms of what is now modern Nigeria, where it was strongly identified with the power female Orishas Yamaya, and especially Oshun. So we have this particular blue all around him, and that is for a reason. Bluestone is copper sulfate, a naturally occurring substance which is a lovely shade of blue, but also very toxic. He released an album called And Then There Was X, which ties into Tet, basket snakes around, and the X-Men. That's why this whole thing is surrounded by blue, and his eyes are glowing because he has the X gene. He's an X-man, meaning somebody that can take the plasma or radiation. So looking at this X, it's not an X. An X does not look like this. But I think it relates to the rune Gebo. Propitiation, removal of a curse or karmic debt through a sacrifice which brings with it right intention and action, a sign under which gifts can be made to the gods. It contains the power to integrate the energies of 2 or more people in order to produce a force that is greater than the sum total of their individual parts. It's the primary rune of sex magic, increased magical powers. And we see him in a bath with blood, so it's a blood bath. Yeah, they do these rituals as well. Greater and lesser magic, also known as high and low magic or collectively satanic magic, is meant as a psychodramic catharsis to focus one's emotions for a specific purpose and lesser magic applied to the practice of manipulation by means of applied psychology and glamour to bend an individual or situation to one's will. So are these people really dead? I don't know. Of Venus, her general and particular significations. She's a bright, shining color and is well known amongst the vulgar by the name of the evening star, and that is when she appears after the sun is set. Common people call her the morning star and the learned Lucifer when she is seen long before the rising of the sun. The most important aspect of the symbolism of Venus was conceptual association with rain and maize, in which the evening star had a prominent role. Venus was one of the celestial agents responsible for the timely arrival of rains, which conditioned a successful agricultural season. The planet also had an important place in the concepts concerning warfare and sacrifice. Human sacrifices were believed necessary for securing rain, agricultural fertility, and a proper functioning of the universe in general. Since the captives obtained in battles were the most common sacrificial victims, the military campaigns were religiously sanctioned, and the Venus-Rain-Maize associations became involved in sacrificial symbolism and warfare ritual. I'm sure that Prince Philip's death will then bring to light something that he might have done, but because he's dead, he can't be implicated in these things. So whether or not these are actual rituals doesn't seem to matter, because they are practicing greater and lesser magic and they're programming the matrix by doing so. But it doesn't matter whether it's real or not, because what matters to them is the ritual aspect and the energy that they get from people by doing this.